This past summer, I went to a chemistry teacher convention in Naperville, Illinois. It was called ChemEd 2019, and it was a gathering of high school chemistry teachers from really all around the world, although most from the United States and Canada. As you enter your professional world, hopefully you'll have an opportunity to go to a conference at some point, and you'll find out that one of the things about conferences is the experience of going into the exhibition hall, and you can see one of the booths there over to the left, wandering around the exhibition hall, and everybody's handing out stuff. As you go around to the little booths, much like you guys do at the college and career fair, and you try to collect swag from all the different booths. Well, one of the booths I went to this summer was handing out these little metal cubes. They're relatively dense, and they're designed to keep in your freezer. And then when you have a beverage, you can put these little cubes in your beverage instead of using the traditional ice cubes. And theirs were engraved so that you could flip them different ways. And one of the confirmations you could make them say here was ChemEd in honor of the conference. So for one of our at-home labs, I decided to use these little metal cubes, collect some data, and see if we could learn something about them. So I took my 3 metal cubes, I weighed them on a balance, and then I put them in my freezer and left them there for many days. Not that it would take many days for them to get cold, but I was thinking about doing the lab, and then I got to doing other things, and then I remembered days later that I was thinking about this. So for many days, these little cubes laid in my freezer. This morning when I got ready to set the lab up, I needed to know the temperature in the freezer, so I hooked up one of the Vernier Go Direct temperature probes to my computer, stuck it in my freezer, shut the door, and I waited. Turns out my freezer temperature is negative 15.7 degrees Celsius. While the temperature probe was coming to equilibrium with the freezer, I took an empty calorimeter, which is just some styrofoam cups. This is 2 styrofoam coffee cups, and then I cut the bottoms off of some bigger styrofoam cups just to keep the whole thing from tipping over on the balance because I didn't have an extra set of hands at the time to keep everything upright. So I weighed the empty calorimeter. I added some warm water to the calorimeter, put it back on the balance, retrieved the temperature probe from the freezer, and took the temperature of the warm water inside the calorimeter. Then I grabbed the cubes from the freezer, put them in the warm water in the calorimeter, allowed the cubes to sit in the water, stirring occasionally until we achieved a constant temperature. The piece of cardboard over the top of the calorimeter here is just in place to help minimize thermal energy transfer with the outside world. And that was really pretty much the end of the experiment. From there, you will have enough information to tackle answering the focus questions and making the calculations in the Google presentation lab report that you need to make.